We kicked off our Spring 2025 adventure with our first interstate trip in Australia, flying from Perth to Melbourne. Our flight departed around 7:45 p.m. and landed in Melbourne at 5:35 a.m. Our friend 𝐼𝐸𝐸 came to the airport to pick us up. Heartfelt thanks to our lovely friends 𝐼𝐸𝐸 and 𝐶𝐸𝐸𝐸 for hosting us at their beautiful home in Craigieburn. After a short rest, we were ready to explore Melbourne City. We hopped on the train using our Myki cards, Melbourne's travel pass. Our first stop was the Evan Walker Bridge, where we soaked in the stunning views of the city skyline and the river. Such a great way to kick off our Melbourne adventures. Next, we headed to the Melbourne Skydeck, the highest public observation deck in the Southern Hemisphere. The lift took us up to the 88th floor in just 38 seconds. So fast, it felt like flying. The 360-degree view from the top was absolutely breathtaking. And then, we tried the Edge, a glass cube that slides out over the city. Thrilling, exciting, and definitely photo-worthy. Phones weren't allowed, but the team captured beautiful photos using their cameras and shared them with us afterwards. Here are a few more photos we took. From there, we continued to our next stop. We had planned to take the free City Circle tram, but sadly it had already stopped for the day. So instead, we hopped on another tram and headed to Docklands to enjoy the waterfront lights at night. The city lights reflecting on the water were magical, and we snapped some beautiful photos. After a long, fun-filled day, we hopped back on the train to our friend's place. Day 1 in Melbourne, wrapped. Day 2 was all about snow. We picked up our rental car in Campbellfield that morning. We had planned a trip to Mount Buller, about 220 kilometres from Melbourne. Before heading to Mount Buller, a quick tip: make sure your car has tyre chains. Driving in snowy conditions without them is not allowed. So we stopped in Mansfield to rent chains, just to be safe. Here's a quick guide on how to fit the chains. The last snowfall had been a week ago, so the roads were clear, but we still kept the chains with us for safety. We arrived at Mount Buller around 1 p.m. Unfortunately, the sightseeing chairlift was closed that day. But we didn't let that stop us. We went to the toboggan park, where a shuttle service took us from the car park to the park entrance. A tip for future visitors: you can check live webcams on 𝐒𝐷𝐵LA.com.au to see conditions before your trip. We bought entry passes and had so much fun. We went up and down countless times, laughing and enjoying every moment. Even though it wasn't the peak snow season, we experienced our first snow, and it was magical. After a full day of snow fun, we returned the snow chains in Mansfield, which was open until 6 p.m. Then we drove back to our friend's place and wrapped up Day 2 in Melbourne. We set off early on Day 3 to witness one of Australia's most famous natural wonders, the 12 Apostles, located about 250 kilometres southwest of Melbourne. Although we took the fastest route via the M1, we arrived later than planned. But the moment we saw the cliffs and limestone stacks rising from the ocean, wow, it was absolutely breathtaking. We walked down to the observation deck, taking in the stunning views and dramatic coastal scenery. It was incredible to see nature's artistry up close, and we spent about an hour just soaking it all in. Afterward, we began the drive back to Geelong, hoping to enjoy the Great Ocean Road along the way. The first part wound through forests until we reached Apollo Bay, where we stopped for a quick break. As darkness fell faster than expected, the gloomy skies made it hard to film, so we focused on driving safely rather than capturing footage. From Lorne, we considered a countryside route, but ended up taking the forest road again. It was a little spooky, but thinking about the amazing 12 apostles kept our spirits up. Finally, we reached our hotel in Geelong safely, tired but thrilled after a day full of natural wonders and unforgettable views. The weather on day 4 was a bit more welcoming. We just wished it had been the same yesterday. Our plan was to visit Ballarat and explore Sovereign Hill, diving into the history of gold mining in Australia. So, we drove 85 kilometres northwest. We purchased the general admission ticket, which included almost all experiences. There's also a VIP Rebellion Pass with additional customised experiences, but the general ticket gave us plenty to enjoy. Sovereign Hill is a full replica of a gold mining town from the 1850s. Walking through the streets, shops, mines, and workshops, it really felt like stepping back in time. Staff were in full period costumes, and many activities were hands-on. Sally especially loved panning for gold, a classic and fun experience. Next, we joined the self-guided 15-minute mine tour. Photography and videos weren't allowed, but the experience of exploring the underground mines was unforgettable. The buildings and structures throughout Sovereign Hill truly bring history to life. After the mine, we watched the gold pouring demonstration. Pure gold is melted in a furnace and poured into a mold to make a gold ingot. It was fascinating to watch. Be sure to plan ahead, as the show runs in specific time slots. We then stumbled upon redcoat soldiers firing muskets from the balcony of the Victoria Theatre. It was thrilling and very entertaining. Next up was the Battery House demonstration, where we watched the 10-head Californian-style stamper battery in action, crushing quartz rock to release the gold. And then, one of the sweetest moments of the day, the brown and confectionery demonstration. We watched the traditional candy-making process from start to finish, the rolling, the shaping, and the careful moulding of the boiled lollies. It was fascinating to see how much skill goes into each piece. And of course, we had to taste a few at the end. Sovereign Hill truly felt like a different world. For a fun memory, we did a photo session at the Red Hill Photography Room, an extra paid experience. We dressed up in authentic 1850s outfits for a professional shoot. You can't take your own photos inside, so book a time slot, and the final shot is a great keepsake. Here are some other photos taken at Sovereign Hill. After a full day of history, we drove back to our friend's place. On the way, we passed a stunning yellow canola farm, and I couldn't resist stopping to capture it. The colours were incredible. Back at our friend's place, we had a great evening, perfect end to Melbourne. As our time in Melbourne wrapped up, we said goodbye to our amazing friends and headed to the airport for our early morning flight, ready for the next adventure. We returned the rental car at the airport and checked in for the next leg of our journey. Melbourne has been amazing, full of unforgettable experiences and memories. As we took off towards Sydney, we couldn't help but reflect on all the incredible moments we had in Melbourne. Thanks for watching. Excited for our Sydney adventures? Please subscribe so you don't miss the fun. See you in Sydney.